What is the impact of ICT inside the classroom? A review of current literature. Resources. A major issue with regard to the use of ICT in the classroom is the immense cost of ICT. Teachers need access to ICT in order to use it, and the availability of training and resources and the lack of ICT infrastructure within a school contributed heavily in the teacher's ability to transfer their knowledge. There are numerous resources available for classroom use. For example, the interactive whiteboard, high-speed connectivity to the internet, access to laptops plus full access to a variety of software, and access to computer rooms. Adequate technical support is also essential to the smooth running of the ICT tools. With regard to students with special needs, assistive technology should be accessible to students, such as providing augmentative and alternative communication devices for students with autism. These are all tools that assist learning in the modern classroom. Access to these devices, when coupled with adequate training, can improve content delivery as well as student participation. However, despite the call for more resources, it is important to understand that ICT is very expensive to implement, and sometimes that is not easily accessible for all schools, especially in the public sector. Training benefits teachers, which will then transcend into the implementation of ICT and teaching attitudes. Adequate training benefits both teachers and students and can take the following forms. Formal training in ICT provides an opportunity for teachers to learn the benefits of its use and to then foster more positive attitudes towards its use. For example, with the new English syllabus involving multimodal assignments, training should be a requirement if technology is to be included in the syllabus. Through training, computer-supported collaborative learning can improve student engagement and facilitate the needs of an inclusive classroom. Computer-mediated conferencing and collaboration could help novice teachers to acquire knowledge from others who have more experience. Not only is it important to know how to use technology, but it is important to know how to incorporate technology into the lessons. It could be used to develop student skills for cooperation, communication, problem-solving skills, etc. Consequently, it helps to build a positive learning environment, and as a result, training should be focused on the pedagogical use of technology. Attitudes. It is the role of teachers to implement the use of this technology in their classroom. Thus, teacher attitudes and experience levels have been shown to impact on the successful use. Most teachers hold a positive attitude towards the importance of ICT in their classroom. However, many teachers believe it is still time-consuming. Factors that contribute to teacher attitudes are confidence of use, experience, willingness, motivation, teaching preferences, and time management. The use of ICT in the classroom is related to how open a teacher is to expand their pedagogical tools, devices, and teaching strategies, and data suggests that more training could benefit teachers' attitudes. Most teachers believe that ICT is a beneficial aspect to education. The key motivators behind the teacher's desire for ICT usage in the classroom context are incentive, support, and benefits. Teacher motivation is vital if ICT is to have any benefit in the classroom. Age is a factor in inhibiting effective use of ICT in the classroom and also affecting the attitudes of teachers. Data analysis. We use 3 forms of data collection: surveys, 2 quantitative and 1 qualitative, and 1 observation. The age range of the teachers interviewed was 25 to 62, with 23 females and 11 males. This included teachers in science, maths, English, HSIE, TAS, German, PDHPE, visual arts, and 1 school principal. The questions we posed to recipients mainly had yes-no answers. We tallied the number of yes and no answers and incorporated them into bar chart graphs. The open-ended questions provided qualitative data, and these are included as quotes within the analysis. Some typical survey responses can now be seen. The first theme, resources, was separated into access to devices from a teacher's perspective and access to devices from a student's perspective. The graph on the right shows that all teachers had access to projectors in the classroom, whereas only 38% of teachers used smartboards. While teachers had access to a laptop, a mere 23% of students were given access to technology from this device. The next graph shows a teacher and student's access to information, meaning either software or proficient wireless connection. 38% of students noted that the wireless internet was not adequate enough to support their learning, while 69% of teachers thought they had access to a fast internet connection. When asked about factors that hinder the use of ICT, one response said, "Access to internet, technology failure, and damaged equipment make it difficult to incorporate ICT effectively in the classroom." Our next theme revolved around teachers' perspectives and their thoughts and attitudes on ICT. 92% of those surveyed stated that technology makes for a more stimulating and thought-provoking lesson and is a beneficial component to the class. In contrast, 76% highlighted that ICT is more time-consuming. Overall, teachers had a fairly positive attitude towards ICT. Most thought that ICT is a necessary component of 21st century learning. However, one respondent said that students' discipline and responsibility inhibits the likelihood of using ICT in the classroom. While student responsibility and discipline does not directly relate to attitudes towards ICT, it is important to understand that poor student conduct and student disruptions will have an effect on a person's attitude and beliefs on the practicality of ICT. Through our data collection, we noticed that teacher training was an important concept when applying ICT efficiently. 95% of teacher participants highlighted that their school employed training in the use of the technology, while 23% of student participants stated that training was not accessible for them. One teacher participant stressed that poor teacher training hinders the true efficiency and effectiveness of ICT. This is concerning as the new Stage 6 English syllabus has a large multimodal component added to it. It is important to understand that an emphasis needs to be applied to training from a pedagogical point of view, not just the capabilities of teachers with technology. It also needs to be addressed that there is often an assumption that younger teachers are more proficient with ICT, a stereotype that is not always applicable. There are many things that block the true potential of ICT. However, if we look at this pie chart, you'll notice that resources and funding are the two biggest factors that affect the use of ICT. Some of these components are combined to truly have a negative impact on the implementation of ICT within the classroom. Our data analysis shows that attitudes, resources, and training are the three biggest factors in the effective incorporation of ICT in classrooms, with training being the most integral of the three. As a result of our data, we can conclude that if training in ICT was more prevalent and aimed directly at teachers, education in the 21st century will benefit exponentially. Training can be designed for teachers from a pedagogical frame of mind, as well as becoming increasingly familiar with the ever-changing concept that is technology. Based on our research and analysis of data, we strongly recommend constructing a teacher training program which is aimed at producing more efficient teaching strategies and teachers in regard to the application of ICT throughout classrooms in New South Wales. Our action research proposal is inspired by the findings of our research. Based on the pedagogical framework for teaching and learning with technology, The usage of ICT consists of 3 levels: macro context, teacher community, and micro context. In this light, our action research will be taken from not only micro level, how to integrate ICT into the classroom, but also macro level. That is, it offers a teacher training program which will be a part of a systemic reform to ICT education. Our research question is, how can teachers effectively utilize ICT in a classroom setting through technology-supported pedagogy skills training? We designed a target group and a focus group, and we set a research period for 1 semester. There are several ethical considerations. First, before the research is conducted, a consent form should be sent to all the participants. Second, it might lead to potential harm for those students who could not participate in the research. Third, their privacy should be protected by the researchers. And fourth, potential benefits should be presented to them. For the first part of data collection, we have designed an interview. Each of the 3 English teachers from the focus groups will be interviewed, both pre- and post-research, to determine how technology-supported pedagogy skills training could assist them in their classes. The interview protocol consists of 6 open-ended questions based on previous literature. Interviews should last about 15 to 20 minutes, and data will be collected using a digital recorder and interview transcriptions written by the researchers. The second form of data collection is artifacts, including lesson plans. 2 types of lesson plans are collected each week. One is from the control group, and another is from the control group that has a modified lesson plan based on the pedagogical ICT integration. Other artifacts that will be collected will be student journals. Researchers will collect students' journals, which should have their reflection on their inquiry process each week. Also, we are going to collect scores from English exams. At the end of the semester, the English teachers in the focus group are required to collect information about their perceptions of the program. There are 6 questions, such as: what parts of the training are most effective and useful? What parts would you like to change? Those answers will also be recorded and transcribed by the researchers. First, the data is analysed by a content analysis procedure. That is, having a team of researchers to read the datasets and identify units of meaning related to the research process. Each unit of meaning is assigned a code. Between the group of researchers, interpretations of the codes are consistently discussed and clarified. Additionally, those themes and categories are compared across datasets to determine the convergences and divergences within the data. Consequently, themes are collected. And finally, triangulation is used to increase the credibility of the data. The usage of ICT is shaping our pedagogy, and we can improve student engagement if we have the competency to use these tools. However, due to the lack of resources and training in some schools, the usage of ICT is limited. But as teachers, we can familiarise ourselves with this technology and its innovations and facilitate change.